I remember the day it all happened, the day when the whole office found out the truth. It started just like any other morning at BrightFuture Corporation. The usual buzz of employees chatting, printers humming, and coffee machines whirring filled the air. Employees rushed to their desks, some sipping coffee, others typing hurriedly on their keyboards, lost in their tasks. But something was different that week. A new cleaner had joined us. She was quiet, hardworking, and dressed in an old, oversized uniform. She walked with a sense of purpose, yet kept her head down, avoiding unnecessary attention. Most of us didn't think much of her, just another worker in the background. But looking back, I realized she was watching, listening, and learning more than anyone knew. Lisa, the CEO's daughter, was nothing like the rich, spoiled heiress we imagined. She was curious, observant, and kind. She wanted to know how employees really treated lower-level workers, so she came up with a plan: disguise herself as a cleaner and work among us. It was her way of stepping out of her privileged world and into the lives of those who kept the company running from the shadows. Then there were the employees. Some, like Mr. Benson, the head of accounts, acted like kings, treating those below them as invisible. He was known for his temper, often snapping at workers for minor mistakes. Some, like Clara, the receptionist, wore fake smiles for the bosses, but rolled her eyes at janitors, whispering sarcastic remarks as they walked by. But there were also people like Daniel, a junior accountant, who always greeted everyone with kindness, no matter their job title. He was known for his genuine respect toward all employees, something rare in such a competitive workplace. Lisa quietly did her job, mopping floors and emptying trash bins. Some ignored her, some were outright rude. Mr. Benson once knocked over a stack of files and barked at her, "Clean this up. That's your only job, isn't it?" Clara often sighed loudly when Lisa was cleaning near the reception desk, muttering, "Can you hurry up? You're in my way." But Daniel was different. He noticed how hard she worked. One day, when Lisa accidentally spilled water while cleaning, he bent down and helped her wipe it up. "Don't worry," he said, smiling. "We all make mistakes." Lisa saw it all: how some managers pretended to work only when the CEO was around, how some employees gossiped about their co-workers, how others treated the lower-level workers as invisible, and how a few, like Daniel, worked tirelessly without recognition. One afternoon, something terrible happened. Mr. Benson publicly scolded Lisa, calling her just a cleaner and telling her to stay in her place. The entire office went silent as Lisa's face turned red with embarrassment. She clenched her fists but said nothing, determined to complete her mission. At the same time, she noticed Clara sneaking into the accounts office. Later, Lisa overheard Clara whispering to a coworker about moving money from the company account into her own. "No one checks the small transactions," she chuckled. Lisa felt her heart race. Did her father know how bad things had gotten in his company? That night, Lisa couldn't sleep. She tossed and turned, thinking about the injustice she had witnessed. People like Daniel went unnoticed while dishonest and arrogant employees thrived. She realized she had to do something. The next morning, an announcement was made, a company-wide meeting with the CEO. Everyone gathered in the main hall, murmuring about what it could be about. Some suspected a big announcement, others hoped for a bonus. When Mr. Anderson, the CEO, stepped forward, he wasn't alone. Beside him stood Lisa, but this time, she wasn't wearing her cleaner's uniform. She was dressed smartly, standing with confidence. The room fell into stunned silence. "This," Mr. Anderson said, "is my daughter Lisa, and for the past week she has been working here as a cleaner." Gasps echoed through the crowd. Mr. Benson's face turned pale. Clara looked like she might faint. Some employees exchanged nervous glances, realizing that their behavior had been observed without them knowing. Lisa stepped forward. "I wanted to see how employees were treated when they weren't in positions of power," she said, "and I saw everything." She let her words hang in the air, making sure everyone understood their weight. The truth unraveled quickly. Mr. Benson, who had mistreated his subordinates, was demoted. Clara was caught and fired for stealing company money. The employees who had been fake and rude were exposed. their reputations shattered. But there was also good news. Daniel, who had treated Lisa with kindness despite thinking she was a simple cleaner, was given a promotion. Other hardworking employees who had been overlooked for years were finally recognized and rewarded. Lisa turned to everyone and said, "True character is how you treat those who seem unimportant. No one should be invisible. Kindness, honesty, and hard work should always be valued over arrogance and deceit." The office changed after that day. People started treating each other with more kindness and respect. Employees who once ignored cleaners now greeted them warmly. The toxic atmosphere that had lingered in the air for so long began to lift. And well, I learned that no matter how small a job seems, the person doing it deserves dignity. I had been one of those who barely noticed the cleaners, who never thought about the struggles they faced daily. But Lisa's experiment changed my perspective forever. Because at the end of the day, respect should never be about titles. It should be about humanity. And that is a lesson none of us at BrightFuture Corporation would ever forget.